pleasure to interview my fellow Gambians and talk about their businesses and how to promote them and all. This is a venture to promote their businesses as well as to help other young entrepreneurs out there to start up their businesses or business owners to continue on with their businesses. So it's a pleasure that My Gambia and a new magazine is here today to interview a prominent Gambian as well as a business owner. And so we are excited to be here today. So why not you just start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's indeed a pleasure to be selected. Like, this is your maiden edition of your My Gambia magazine. I am Modou Njie. I am the owner and founder of Farm Fresh. Farm Fresh is the Gambia's first online food store and delivery company, which was registered in 2013, but became fully operational in 2014. And we partner with farmers to help them find access to markets to sell their fresh produce online. Vegetables, fruits, organic products, many made in the Gambia products. And we found that there was a need for them to have a platform where they can sell their produce and not to be taken advantage of by middlemen, because they have a problem of storage. They don't have storage facilities, so whenever they harvest, they need to quickly sell or get rid of their products before it gets wasted. So without this platform, they would be taken advantage of by middlemen who would offer them any price and tell them, well, take it or leave it. If you don't buy it from us, your product will get wasted and you will lose everything. So we thought that this was a social need that we should come in. Of course, a business as well, to help them. You know, it's a win-win kind of partnership. We also found that there's a need for working class and very busy Gambians who really don't want or don't have the time to be going around shopping to have this platform and then have these items delivered to them. So that's Farm Fresh. And just to say that my background is in ICT, over 23 years. I also run other companies, NWeb Plus, Money Farm. I've served in different institutions, GT Bank, Head of Technology, Reliance, Head of Technology, United Nations Development Program. I studied in the US, in the UK, and in India, and also in the Gambia before I traveled. I started with GTTI, Gambia Technical Training Institute, where I was initially a student, did all my diplomas up to advanced diploma, and then became a lecturer there, and then worked with Continent Bank as IT manager. Back then, I was the youngest IT manager. I think I was 22. Then traveled to the US and then came back. It's a long story, but in summary, that's who I am. And I have a passion for agriculture and passion for technology and passion for entrepreneurship and social work. I see myself as a social entrepreneur now.
Where did you get your entrepreneurial spirit? Were your parents entrepreneurs as well?
Very good, excellent question. Interestingly, my parents were not entrepreneurs. My parents were educationists. My late father, he was a teacher initially, then a headmaster, then also became the first Gambian principal of Gambia College. That's called the Brikama College or Yundum College, they used to call it. My mom, she's also a retired headmistress, over 35 years of teaching experience in the Gambia, heading different schools. And naturally, I also became a lecturer at GTTI when I completed my computer science courses. So the entrepreneurial spirit, I don't know where it came from, but I've always had that spirit in me. Probably my namesake, I'm named after MS Njie, late, that's my father's brother. He had that entrepreneurial spirit. He was into business, even though he was a certified accountant and worked with the Public Service Commission and different commissions, but he was also very much into business. So probably, as they say in our local tradition, your namesake, if you're named after someone, you might take some traits from that person. Exactly. So probably I got it from him. But I've always had the spirit to do something on my own, even though I've worked for companies for almost 20 years, different companies, United Nations, Deloitte, GT Bank, Reliance. But I always had this part-time job going on. My IT company has been running for 17 years on part-time basis. And you know, I started out actually in the 90s, really, repairing computers. When I left GTTI, you know, going to people's homes to fix computers and stuff like that, doing web design, you know, for free, for fun. and later charging a small fee. So it's always been within me.
At what age did you think of starting your own business?
My IT company is much longer. It's much older, sorry. It's 17 years old. That's NWeb Plus. So with NWeb, I've always had that dream that I would want to have my own company, and have my own employees and all that, and working on tech, developing solutions. I have this innovative spirit, coming up with innovative solutions to address problems, societal problems. But with Farm Fresh, it was in 2013 that I got that inspiration to really try and be a pioneer, to be a pace setter or a trend setter, and to take that risk. A lot of people want to get into business, but they're not ready to take that risk because there's a risk element, a risk factor. But I was like, what do I have to lose? I have the knowledge, I have the skills, I can build platforms, and it won't cost me anything. I'm going to build it myself, so I don't even need capital, financial capital, that is. I just need my brain power. So it was in 2013 that I got inspired, and I started developing the platform on my own, and here we are today. Yeah.
Considering the fierce competition in today's business world, how would you highlight your company's competitive advantages? What makes it stand out from the crowd?
Excellent question again. You are quite right. There's a lot of competition going on in different sectors, even in our area in IT, in e-commerce. Despite the fact that we became the first online food store or let's say e-commerce company specializing in food delivery in the Gambia in 2013, we of course noticed that there were other people that were coming up with similar solutions. But I've always believed that what makes you stand out is your innovative spirit. That is to say, don't be afraid of competition. Actually, competition makes you to become become better at what you're doing, because they will keep you at your toes, because you're always trying to be one step ahead. And that's the spirit that we have. We always try to be one step ahead. Whenever we see that someone has copied what we're doing, we try to do something completely different. So people are always playing catch up with us. We try to be the first or the pace setters in technology. As you can see, our platform is fully automated. When you place your order, instantly you receive an SMS alert on your phone. You also receive an email alert showing everything that you've ordered. And online payment is available. We have a chatbot. Now we're working on a WhatsApp API to build a WhatsApp chatbot. And so many other things coming up also.
How do you generate new ideas concerning doing business? Like you mentioned something like when people are trying to copy you in your business, you play a smart one on them so how do you generate those new ideas?
Yeah, that's really tough to explain. For me, it's more like it's not tangible. It's not something that I can really describe. It's a passion. When you have a passion for something, nothing stops you. Sometimes I wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning. I have an idea. 3 a.m. I'm on my computer. I'm working on it. So if you're passionate about what you're doing, regardless of whatever it is, if it is tech, if it is agriculture, if it is carpentry, whatever it is, you will go to any length to be the best that you can be. So for me, that's what happens to me. I just get the inspiration, and it's not easy for me to be satisfied with even my own work. I always think there's a room for improvement. Even though I'm like, wow, I've done a great job, it looks nice, other people are complimenting, I'm always looking for faults, to even fault my own work, and to get constructive criticism, and to improve, and just try to, and that's how Farm Fresh has been evolving. Right now, this day and age, you cannot reinvent the wheel. Anything that you've thought of, someone has already thought of it. You want to do this, just Google it, it's already there. You just think of anything, literally. So what makes you stand out is how you transform that idea into something else, into something different.
Since your business journey started, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, one of the biggest challenges, just like any other business, was access to finance, lack of financial input. As I already stated, the biggest cost was the startup capital, But I was able to overcome that because I am a developer. I develop websites, I develop solutions. So I didn't have to pay a company a huge amount of money to develop the solution for me. So that cost was taken off. But still, you had other operational costs. You have to pay for your internet. You have to pay for the staff. Their salaries. You have the electricity. The phone bills. So there are other costs. Office rent and all that. So that was tough. So what we did was I just decided to start small instead of going with a big bang, going to the bank to look for a loan. I said, no, I'm going to work from home, little by little, I'm going to get there. And that's how we did it. We never went for loans or anything like that. Until in 2015, that's when we got our first grant. When I went to Nigeria, I was selected, I was among the first Tony Elemelu entrepreneurs from the Gambia, from Africa, 1,000 entrepreneurs from Africa, 5 from Gambia. I was amongst those 5. We went to Nigeria. We did our training on entrepreneurship, and they gave us a grant of $5,000. So that was the first time that we received any kind of financial support. And immediately, we plowed that into the business, into our marketing campaigns, and it paid dividends. So this is how we did it, but we've never gone for loans or anything like that. And I would advise entrepreneurs to avoid loans as much as possible, unless they can really justify it and it can be repaid within a short period of time.
What is your greatest business achievement since you started this business, Farmfresh? What's your greatest achievement?
That's not an easy question because we've really achieved a lot. We've won international awards, as you can see. When we've been to South Africa, we won the People's Choice Award. That is, we had the most votes in terms of popularity online. People voted online, and we were the most popular company in Africa. Future Agro Challenge, South Africa 2017. But for me, the biggest accomplishment has been the fact that we were able to tap into the diaspora market, that is Gambians in the diaspora, to convince them to shop online for their families in the Gambia without them knowing too much about us, and then with them taking a big risk, because it's online, you don't know whether it's true or not. And to date, 90% or 95% of all our revenue or orders are coming from Gambians abroad who are shopping online for their families, and we deliver the products to their families. And I would say, we've made thousands and thousands of dollars worth of revenue through this partnership with Gambians in the diaspora. And what we've done is we've also allowed them to remit money I would say in kind instead of cash. They've always had a challenge of sending money to their families, and then the money would not be put into good use. Exactly. Before the end of the month, there's so many stories, the rice is finished, this is finished. But by shopping through our platform, they've been able to safely feed their families without any issues, because we deliver the products, we don't give them the cash. So for me, this is one of the biggest achievements. Yeah, and also the fact that we've been able to transform the lives of some of the farmers. For me, that's the second most important achievement, or maybe the most important achievement, transforming the lives of the farmers, the gardeners that we've been working with, who were not having steady income, but now on a weekly basis, they're having steady income. They're able to pay their fees, the school fees of their children, pay for their medical bills. For me, this is one of the greatest achievements. Yeah, even though modest, but we're really proud of it.
So what do you think of the work environment or the business environment? Is there room for improvement to make it better?
There's a lot of room for improvement. As you can see, this is our first physical store. We've always been operating online. When we started in 2013, 2014, it was always online, strictly online. We didn't have physical items. People order, and then we rush. We go to the supplier. Oh, we need this. Then we rush. Here's the delivery. Then we go back home in our little corner, But we've evolved. We also saw that a lot of Gambians sometimes might be skeptical, but with this physical store, they can come in and see some of the products that we're claiming that we have online. And they say, wow, it's true. The one that I saw online, it looks really nice. It's actually true. You go to their store, it's there, it's real. this is how this is how it is in Africa, you know. Seeing is believing. We believe in seeing, feeling, and touching, and you know. So, but then there's still a lot of room for improvement. We are looking ahead. We're on track to expand and our branch network. Hopefully, within the next few months, we'll have 2 more branches, 2 locations in the Gambia. We also have acquired a cold room, which will be commissioned soon. So what that means is we can buy in bulk more from farmers and then store it in the cold room. We don't have to be going back and forth. And we increase the shelf life of some of these fresh produce, which are very fragile. So currently we have that challenge. If we get a produce today, we have to deliver it today or tomorrow, otherwise it gets wasted. So we have a cold room coming up. We have a delivery truck, a 9-ton delivery truck. I have to mention that we were not able to make this headway or achievements without the support of NEMA, the NEMA project. I want to give them full credit for giving us that matching grant. It was a joint partnership, but 60% was grant, free, not free money, but that's what it is, grant. But we also contributed 10%, and this grant allowed us to get the cold room, allowed us to get the cold truck, allowed us to get a delivery motorbike. This is over almost $1.4 million. You know, it has really transformed our business. But we are not stopping. We are really looking ahead. We are looking at having more locations, more partners, and improving on our product delivery, service delivery, on our packaging. We're far from satisfied. We think there's still a lot more to do to get to where we are. We hope to have a proper supermarket one day where we only sell fresh produce, and I mean in a big way, not this store, like I mean a bigger space, more spacious. We have plans to partner with supermarkets. I can't say everything, but what I want to say is that we are far from satisfied. We believe there's still a whole lot more to do. Yeah, and we're looking at expanding beyond the shores of the Gambia also. That is also in the pipeline.
What is the toughest decision you've ever made in your business?
Well, setting up Farm Fresh was a tough decision because there was a lot of unknowns. You know, no one has ever done this before, and it was risky. It could have even failed. And to me, that was one of the toughest decisions. Because to be honest, you know, I had a very good job. My last employment was with GT Bank, head of technology. As the head of the IT department, I had a good salary and a lot of benefits and a lot of perks that come along with this. Very comfortable. You don't have to worry. End of month, your salary is in your account. So really, to forgo all that and then just start from scratch and start struggling and with your vehicle, you know, in the hot sun and no AC, you know. So that was one of the toughest decisions, but with no regrets, really, no regrets, absolutely.
What's your #1 priority right now in the Farm Fresh business?
Yes, #1 priority is to consolidate on our gains, and also to expand our customer base, you know, and also to look into the export market. We have a lot of demand from Gambians abroad who want us to export our items to Europe, to America, but we don't have an export license. So we're working very hard to find ways and means of acquiring an export license so that we can start exporting large quantities of fresh produce and also even dried produce, processed items to all over the world. So this is one of our priorities, and also getting our cold room up and running as soon as possible.
What are the principles you follow to build a successful customer relations?
Yes, one of the main principles that we follow is that we have to be good listeners to the customers. When a customer makes an inquiry, you have to listen. Even though it might sound stupid or in your head, it might sound wrong, we have to be patient always with our customers, and we have to be courteous. Customers can be very aggressive, they can even be rude, but at the end of the day, you don't know the amount of revenue they can bring on board. So we have to be very patient with them and be very honest with them, very straightforward, and also timely response to queries that they make. These are some of the most important aspects of it. Transparency, very, very important, especially for our international customers.
What is the biggest lesson you've learned so far about being a business owner over the years?
Yes, one of the biggest lessons that I have learned is that um, it really takes time to make things happen, and you really, really have to be patient, and you really have to put in the effort. Like, it doesn't, you might see some successful millionaires and billionaires, and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be like that. But trust me, you have to put in a lot of work and effort. They put in a lot of effort. Some of them might even look young, but sometimes you really have to sweat it out. Sometimes I don't go to bed till 3 a.m. Sometimes I wake up at 3 a.m. I'm working. So you really, really, really have to work really hard and try to be as honest as possible with your customers, with your suppliers, with whoever you're dealing with, and be on top of your game and try to be different as much as possible.
How long do you stick to one idea? Like when you come up with one idea, how long do you stick with it before you move on to another idea?
I'm always thinking of new ways of doing things, and you don't even need to abandon what you're doing, but you can find ways of doing what you're doing differently, doing it in a different way. So like, I'm going to give you a practical example. Just last week, we did our first Facebook Live. We never thought of it. Farm Fresh, I thought of it like, wow, why don't we do a Facebook Live, start interacting with our customers, showing our products. This is what we have, like a live TV, because everything is online now. We don't need to go to a physical TV, traditional TV. I don't want to mention names. So my brain just said, why don't you just go live, start showing your products, and start taking questions and even orders from customers. And guess what? We did it last week, and after 1 hour after the live show, people started walking into the shop. And I was following your Facebook Live. I saw that you have okra. I saw that you have this and that. Because some people are very busy, really. They don't have time to go to the website. They might be there, but they might not find it for several reasons. Some people are really busy anyway. But if you do a live show showing them in real time what you have, the price, where you are, trust me, more than likely the customers will come. So this is just a practical example of how things come up. We always try to innovate. We always try to be different. We've had this idea of payment through mobile money. People can pay us through their mobile wallet, whether it's GT Bank or EcoBank, AfriCell, Q Money, AfriMoney. We're looking at other ways and innovative ways of making things simpler and easier for the customers.
What impact do you think your business is having around people around you?
The impacts, I can say, is already being felt. For me, I'm satisfied with the fact that I've been able to create employment in a modest way. We are a team of 6 now. So every month I have to prepare salaries for 6 members of staff. And by so doing, it means they're able to feed their families also. So we're fighting poverty through this, even though it's a small number, but we hope to grow and add more employees, so that they can take care of their families. And the nice thing about it is I'm the only one who's not a youth, going by the definition of youth, since I'm above 35. So, but all the other five employees are youths. So for me, I'm also helping in the promotion of youth employment and youth empowerment. So for me, this is one of the greatest impacts that we've had. And also in the community, I don't want to brag, but it's all out there, what we've done. We've worked with farmers. We created the first farmers market about a year ago at the Bruceby Turntable, where we brought together farmers from all over the country in partnership with NEMA and Concern Universal, for them to have that platform where it's entirely free. People just converge. It's like a Lumo, and then they started purchasing all kinds of products, vegetables, fruits, even poultry products. You have animals, rabbits, ram. I mean, it was really interesting, and we didn't charge any fee. Restaurants and hotels were called. I mean, so this is really, to me, that's also another form of impact that we created for the farmers, and they really benefited from it because we didn't charge any single thing, any fee. They went ahead, they went home with all the money that they made. It's just because of the corona, that's why we stopped. But hopefully after the corona, it's going to be a weekly event, and we're going to have it in different locations.
How has your business helped you understand who you are?
Yes, very good question also. It has really helped me to understand who I am, because it has allowed me to open up and to interact with people. So I've been able to learn a lot from people. I've been able to see how to manage my temperament. Sometimes I can get frustrated. How do I manage my anger? And in many ways, how to deal with people, how to talk to people. Yes, I knew, of course, I've been a manager, but still, it has really, really helped me in a very positive way to improve on my weaknesses, on my weak points.
Who is your greatest support system when you're facing some kind of hardships in business?
For me, naturally, it would be my wife. She's like my best friend. So, and biggest supporter. She's also a member of Farm Fresh. She's one of our employees. She's the head of operations. So for me, she's my best support system. Either behind or beside any successful man, there's a woman, and vice versa. So for me, that holds true in my case. She's been very, very supportive. I have to really give her a lot of credit. Yeah.
If you were to do this business all over again, what would you do differently?
I don't think I would do anything differently. To me, I would do the same thing. Probably, the only thing that I would add to that is I would have taken more time in terms of planning. Because sometimes you might be really excited to do something, but you really need to plan out the strategy. Sometimes you are ahead because of the passion, As an entrepreneur, we are always asked to come up with a business plan, and I support the idea 100% because it really helps you a lot in terms of planning out your strategy, your growth strategy, and also in terms of continuity. That is, if you are no longer here, who's going to carry on with the business? If it is not written, it's going to be very, very difficult. So I would say I would have written down my business plan prior to even launching it, if that would be the case, Apart from that, I would not have done anything differently.
If you had to name one entrepreneur who has inspired you in your business, who would you say is your inspiration as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, for me, I would use the example of Jack Ma of Alibaba, because the way he started, he's not your typical or conventional entrepreneur. He really, really walked his way through and worked his way up the ladder. He never had the luxury of getting a proper education, like becoming a degree holder. He was rejected many times. He applied to Harvard, rejected, applied to many other companies. Despite so many rejections, he never gave up. And he became successful also at an advanced age. He didn't become successful as the typical Bill Gates, as a teenager, a millionaire kind of thing. So for me, he gave that example that it is never too late to become successful. Because some people, once they cross a certain age, they're like, no, it's not possible. I'm too old for this, I'm too old for that. For me, like I said, I'm above 35, I'm probably above 40. I'm probably close to 50, but I'm still very active in many activities in terms of tech, in terms of coding, and I'm not retiring. I'm not saying, oh, I'm gonna leave this to the young ones, and I'm always trying to keep myself up to date to know the latest trends, and not to see age as a hindrance, and to actually see my experience as an added bonus, as an added advantage in this field of tech, which is dominated by, of course, the young people. What is also very important that I learned from him is you have to employ the best people, people who probably know the stuff better than you. Whether if you're a programmer or software developer, hire somebody who's even more intelligent than you, is better than you, to work with you. And I think Bill Gates shares the same concept. So you hire people who are smarter than you, then you'll be more successful. But if you want to claim to be the smartest all the time, that won't work. Yeah.
Creating your own form.
Exactly. Let me just point out the fact that entrepreneurship is not for everyone. I'm going to make that very clear. Despite all the calls and appeals and promotions of people to get into entrepreneurship, 100% all the citizens, all the youth cannot become entrepreneurs. That is a fact that we need to make very, very clear. We cannot force people to become entrepreneurs. You need to have that natural passion, to become an entrepreneur. But apart from that, really, the sky is the limit, really, yeah.
What do you see your business? Where do you see your business in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, in the next 5 to 10 years, inshallah, with the blessings of our Creator that I'm alive and healthy, I really see Farm Fresh in multiple countries beyond Gambia. I don't know how many, but in multiple countries and well established, like the Amazon or the eBay, of maybe West Africa or beyond West Africa. That's my dream within the next 5 to 10 years.
What's your message to young entrepreneurs out there or business owners who are, working hard to maintain their businesses? What message do you have for them?
Yeah, the message that I have for them, especially now, we're doing this interview during the period of the coronavirus pandemic, which has adversely affected almost all businesses. That is to say, they should always never give up and try to be as innovative as possible and to make use of technology, to leverage on technology, because this day and age, you cannot run a proper business without using technology. You need to have a website. No matter how simple it is, you need to have an online presence. You need to have a Facebook page. You need to have a Twitter page or Instagram or LinkedIn. So I would say all these entrepreneurs that really want to make headway, they need to get on social media. It's a must. You can succeed in a way, but in a limited way without social media. But with social media, your chances are unlimited. They need to get online. Whatever kind of business they're doing, they need to get online. And they need to persevere, and they should never give up. And like I said, they need to try to be creative with what they're doing because of competition. Try to do things differently, more effectively, more efficiently.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Njie. It was a pleasure interviewing you today. And as you heard from him, there's a store here. You can get a lot of fresh products as well. And also, you can contact them and visit their website online and order foods or whatever you want for your families. If you are abroad, you can still get fresh products and get them delivered to you. So come visit, support their business, and make sure that Gambian businesses grow, because this is particularly to promote Gambian businesses. And as entrepreneurs, there's no limits to what you can do. Thank you very much, and it was a great pleasure to be here.
Thank you as well. It's been a pleasure, and I wish my Gambia all the best of success.
Thank you.